Thank you so much. We are so excited to be here to share about what Scarlet Hope is doing here in our backyard, in our neighborhood, in our community. On behalf of Scarlet Hope, we're just so grateful to share what this ministry is doing. My name is Liz Pino, and I am the Executive Director of Scarlet Hope Miami. Scarlet Hope's mission, as Pastor Randy shared, is to share the hope and love of Jesus with the women in the adult entertainment industry. That's our heartbeat. That's our goal. Scarlet Hope started in 2007 in Louisville, Kentucky, and it has grown into multiple sites, and Miami is our newest one. It's our little baby, and we're just so excited to launch and serve these women. Our mission is to reach all of South Florida, ranging from Palm Beach all the way down to Miami-Dade. I came across Scarlet Hope this summer, and I was just immediately captivated by the work, the intentional work that Scarlet Hope is doing with the women in the adult entertainment industry. I remember my first conversation with Rachael, the president of Scarlet Hope, and she said something that was just so scandalous to me, right? We were sitting over coffee, and she said, "Liz, I have felt the presence of the Lord the strongest while being at a strip club." And some of you are looking at me the same way I looked at her. I was like, my first thought was, this lady's crazy. My second thought was, I'm so in. Because that's the point, right? That's exactly what Jesus did when he was here. He went to those scandalous places. He went to those people who were rejected, who were the outcasts, and he brought the love and hope that he had, right? So through Scarlet Hope's mission to share the hope and love of Jesus, we are meeting these women exactly where they are, and we are engaging with them through a home-cooked meal, through desserts, through gifts, just through the love of Jesus. So I do want to share with you some statistics as to why Scarlet Hope exists. And I want to share with you the statistics to show you why we want to launch here, or why we've launched here in Miami. There are an estimated to be 4.8 million victims of sexual exploitation across the globe in a year. 70% of female trafficking victims are trafficked through the commercial sex industry, and that includes strip clubs. Between 2014 and 2019, the strip club industry in the U.S. has grown by 4.1% to reach a revenue of $8 billion in 2019. Unlike drug trafficking, where you buy the product, you use it once, and it's one and done. A human being can be sold over and over and over again. So it makes for a multi-billion-dollar industry. So here in Florida, I want to share a few statistics that you may be aware of, you may not be. Florida is the third highest ranking state for human trafficking cases, third in the country. South Florida alone is home to over 450 strip clubs, illegal massage parlors, and escort services. In strip clubs alone, 70% of sex trafficking victims in the United States are trafficked through the strip clubs. So we believe that above all else for these girls, above any resource we can give them, their greatest need is Jesus, just to know Jesus, right, and his love. And sometimes one of the questions that people ask is, well, why don't they just leave, right? Why don't they just get out of there? When asked, 89% of women said they wanted a way out but had no other means of survival. So for someone like me, maybe like you in this room, if tragedy were to strike and I was to lose my job, I was to lose my house, my car, everything, right? My bank account just goes to zero. I have this net. That's my family. That's my church family. That's my friends that will catch me, right? I have Jesus above all else, right? But when these girls, when tragedy strikes, they hit rock bottom because there is no net to catch them. So then they end up in industries like this, right, where it's hopeless. So our goal is to provide that net for these women. And we do this through our model, and this is why Scarlet Hope exists. Our model is outreach, discipleship, and career development. The model of ministry that God has called us to comes from the Great Commission to go and make disciples, right? And outreach is where we do just that. We go and we reach these women. We're not afraid of where they're at, in the strip clubs, in the illegal massage parlors, wherever we're at, we meet them with the gospel, right? With the good news that they are loved. And we do this by taking them a home-cooked meal. Sometimes it's the first meal they've had. We do that by bringing them gifts. We do that by bringing them dessert. And we establish a relationship with them, and we share the gospel. So when we bring out the strip club outreach, right, it's important to note we're not there to rescue these women, exit stage left. No, we're there to simply engage in conversation. And if they were to decide to leave this lifestyle, then we're ready, and we're there to provide them with resources to help them. We also, through our discipleship, we teach them how to live a godly life. What is Christianity? What does a relationship with Jesus look like? And this is done through our Hope for Her program and our career development program. So the ultimate goal is to make sure these women have a sustainable job outside of the sex industry, and this is done through our career development program. We reteach them how to live with dignity and use the skills and talents that God has given them to have a sustainable job without selling their bodies. Our hope for Miami is that we can bring the full model of Scarlet Hope. Here, we're currently on step 1, so we're doing the strip club outreach, and we eventually want to bring the Hope for Her program. Hopefully within the next year we'll have one, so we could disciple these women, and then we can teach them how to have a sustainable job through the career development program. So I want to end with a story of a woman that I met at a club, and we're going to call her Jill. So Jill was this beautiful, beautiful young, bubbly girl. She was so sweet. She had this strawberry blonde hair, big blue eyes. She was gorgeous. And that night, I learned that it was Jill's first time doing something like this, right? She had never done anything, and money was really tight for her. She was struggling a bit. As we got to talking, Jill shared just the hopes and dreams that she had for herself, right? We all have them, and she was just telling me her plans, what she wanted to do. And right before she went on to perform, I asked her, well, how do you feel? And she just shaking. She was like, I'm so nervous. And then, like Rochelle, I felt that just relived for me. I felt God's presence so heavily in that moment, and I just looked her in the eyes, and I was like, Jill, I will be praying for those hopes and dreams that God has placed in your heart. And she just teary-eyed, she was like, can I please give you a hug? And I was like, yeah. And the last thing I was able to tell her was, Jesus loves you, and I'll be praying for you. And then she went off. So, like Jill, there are women who need this reminder desperately. Like Jill, like you, like me, they all have dreams, right? Dreams that have been stolen from them by lies of the enemy. And Scarlet Hope just wants to remind them that they have hope in Jesus, that they are daughters. The way to get involved with this ministry is first, you can participate in our outreach program, through our prayer drives, through any events that we'll be hosting. You can provide through donations. You can sponsor an outreach night and provide the gifts, and pray, right? There's power in prayer. And definitely, if you want to know more, just come to the back and we'll be ready to share. So I'm going to introduce Rachael Hunter, who's going to close us off.
Yes, like she said, my name is Rachael Hunter, and I'm on staff with Scarlet Hope, like in the headquarters. So I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and I've been able to be a part of seeing lots of sites launched around the U.S. And I'm really excited to be here today because I've personally been so encouraged just by the support and the relationships that this church has with their missionaries. And in order for any ministry to work, for us to be able to continue to reach women, we have to have the support of the local church. And so Liz and I are so excited to get to know you guys. I loved how relational the conversations were earlier, like you knew your missionary stories, and so we want to know you. So definitely come connect with us in the back in a little bit, and we can tell you more specific ways to pray. If you're like, I don't even know how to pray for this, we want to share with you how to do that. If you want to know what it looks like to volunteer, we would love to share that with you. But before we close, we want to show a video to you. And this is one of our friends who has gone through the entire process. So we met her doing outreach. She came for discipleship and learned about Jesus. She became a Christian through our ministry, and now she's working in corporate America. And she has since brought in 3 or 4 friends to our program who have come to know the Lord. She donates to our ministry regularly, and she's just like, if we had a dream of what God could do through someone, this is it. And so we want you to watch this video and be encouraged. Thank you, guys.
The way that I heard about Scarlet Hope was I was actually on the streets, living a pretty crazy lifestyle, and I was arguing with a guy that I was with. I jumped out of a car is what happened. I jumped out of a car. I had my Bible with me. I always kept my Bible with me on the streets no matter what. And this lady stopped because the guy had left, and this lady named Jamie, she stopped and she was like, "Can I help you? You know, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool. Leave me alone. I'm fine. I'm okay." And she was like, "Are you sure? It's about to rain." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay. And it just started downpouring. It started raining. And so I got in the car with her and her husband, and waiting for my ride to come, I'd called somebody. And she started asking me about my Bible and asking me about, how I was doing and where I came from. And I just told her I was just in a bad place. We were sitting in the car, and she told me, "I got a number for you. You call this number no matter what you need. If you need clothes, if you need food, if you need a job, anything you need, you call this number." And I kept that number for about 2 weeks. Just kept it, and I found it in my purse, and I was going crazy, and I called that number. And it was your number. It was Rochelle's number. It was just the most welcoming thing I've ever felt when I walked into Scarlet Hope. The best feeling in the world. Everybody just hugged me and loved me like they knew me forever. If it wasn't for Scarlet Hope, I don't know where I would be right now. I don't know what I would be doing in my life. I don't even know if I would have a life today with the way that I was going. Today I'm doing better than I've ever done in my life. I feel like I'm getting emotional, you guys. I'm sorry. But really, if it wasn't for Scarlet Hope, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I'm learning new things. I've got a job. I'm doing better than I've ever done in my whole entire life. And it's all thanks to Scarlet Hope and thanks to God, The Career Development Program is a program for women. We went in and we did all kinds of different classes. We did art, recreational therapy. I got CPR certified. We did Bible study. That was my favorite. When I started Scarlet Hope, I couldn't look anyone in the eye. I didn't know how to have a full-on conversation and mean it and to care about other people. It's just changed my whole perspective, my whole views on everything. Yes, I worked in the bakery. The bakery was hard. The bakery was hard for me in particular. I've never been in a kitchen. I've never cooked. I've never done any of that kind of stuff. But it taught me everything I need to know to learn and to be at the job that I'm at today. I started my internship at Tri-Arrows Aluminum after the bakery. I went and did some job shadowing there, and it was amazing. I walked into this big building I'd never been into a business like that, and I got all suit and tied up like I'd never done before. And it was so well put together, so structured, and just everything that the program's been teaching me, So I automatically knew that that's where I wanted to be. Thank you for calling Tri-Arrows Aluminum. How may I direct your call today? I started in October doing my internship there at Tri-Arrows. And in December, they offered me a full-time internship for 6 months. And I was just amazed, I wasn't expecting that. So then, just last month, they offered me a full-time position. Yeah. I never in my life would have thought that I would be where I am today. I never even thought it was possible to be where I am today. I'm so happy. I'm so happy today. I'm so happy to say that I'm a product of Scarlet Hope. God has played such a huge role in my journey. I work a couple different programs. I do some 12-step programs and different things like that. And in the programs, they tell you to make a God of your own understanding. And I think like that's the difference between like Scarlet Hope and the programs that I've worked otherwise. Because Scarlet Hope, you know, they teach you a God that understands you. You know, not a God of your own understanding. So God's just, He's worked miracles in my life.